Hello all, I am returning and looking a little bit insane. I just thought, since I'm in quarantine today, I'm not feeling too great, and there's nothing I can really do at the moment to alleviate that in terms of going out. So I just thought I made myself look nice. This is what I usually do when my anxiety is pretty bad. So if you're wondering what is happening here, I've just got out of the shower, deep conditioned my hair, and I have just used a natural exfoliant, and now I'm just using a all natural cucumber mask. As you can see here, I have rosacea, so it's pretty red. Hopefully the shine isn't hiding that too much. So I'm just doing anything that I can do at the moment to just sort of dumb the red down. And then I'm going to moisturise, and I will see you in about 15 minutes when this is all dry. Okay, so it's been about 20 minutes, so I'm just going to unpeel, which is like my favourite part. It's so good. I'm just going to unpeel all of this. Okay, so so I'm just moisturising. I use quite a bit. It's really thick. I just use this Aveeno skin relief moisturising lotion, and it's for like very dry skin. I get a lot of buildup right here, a lot of dry skin like in my eye bag. So like right here and pretty much all along this area I get really dry, irritated skin, and around my nose. So I always just make sure to just use as much as I need to use and just moisturize completely. I'm going to use a primer as well, just especially here because like I say, all of this needs extra protection because of this rosacea. So I'm going to go prime, and I'm going to go put some concealer on my eyelids, and then I will come back. Okay, so I'm just applying concealer now. I try not to use too much because I feel like it makes my eyelids quite oily and makes the eyeshadow crease. So I just try and use a little bit, and I kind of come all the way up here. It's like I really like dramatic eyeshadow looks, so I usually bring it up quite far. Next, I take a little bit of green and just go where I kind of need it. I put it on this early because I found that if I put it on just before I put my foundation on, it spreads and then I get really green. So if I kind of put it on over my primer and over my moisturizer and just blend it out with my middle finger, it gives it enough time to sort of dry out, and stops it from spreading in with my with my foundation. So I'm just gonna take a sort of like pinkish colour. I'm gonna do like a red and pink eye look today because I just feel like that's my favourite to do. So I'm just putting that right in the crease with just a general fluffy brush. Okay, so I'm just taking this sort of like peachy colour and then mixing it with a tiny little bit of the pink again and just buffing out the edges. I like really don't mind like a harsh edge. Like I really don't have a problem with like big eye looks because I personally think they suit me the best. So I'm gonna bring that like all the way up. I might even go up to the brow. I think I will because I feel saucy today. I think I definitely do revert to really big makeup looks because I just feel really comfortable in them. I can't do a natural eye, which I feel like should be so easy. But I physically cannot do like a brown natural eye. Like I've tried so many times and it ends up looking like I've been punched in the face, and I don't understand what I'm doing wrong. And maybe it's because I just don't really like natural looks on myself. I just prefer like a bigger eye. So I'm just evening this out now, by the way. I just don't like the way the brown looks on me. I think other people, like especially people with like brown eyes, like I have a friend who has like the most gorgeous like deep brown eyes, and she does these natural looks, and I'm so jealous, and I don't understand how she does them. And then like when I try and do it on myself, it looks like shit, and I don't understand why. Maybe there's a different technique to applying like browns, like neutrals and like colours. But I can't do it. I'm literally, as you can see, I've shaved off my eyebrow because I'm one of those pansexuals that does that. So I'm just gonna, I don't even care, like I'm gonna bring it up all the way. Ooh. And I prefer this shape, so I'm just gonna bring this up a bit further. Honestly, I don't even care. Like I never care if my makeup looks even, and I know that's really bad. Everyone's like, oh, but I really don't care. Like it's I just go for, I just do whatever happens, and then if it's good, then great. So now I'm just gonna pack my brush with this sort of like, it's a little bit more of a red, but it's still a little bit of a pink, just because I really want to deepen the crease. I do want it to be more of a red look, but I do kind of want like a transition, I don't want it to just be like red. So I do put the pink down as a little bit of a base, just because I feel like it looks better. Maybe it doesn't, but I feel like it does, and obviously we'll blend this out a little bit more, but I'm just deepening the corner on both eyes. Just darken that up. As you can see, I'm definitely preferring more of this shape, but the blending, I'll just clean it up, like it's not really that big of a deal. So I'm just gonna carry on with the blending, and then afterwards I'll just, probably wipe a little bit of this off to get a better shape. So I'm just gonna take a little bit more of a red now, like a pure red, and just absolutely pack that in. Like I said, doesn't matter if we go out of the shape that we want, because I'm just gonna clean it up, and it's not the end of the world. Like I don't understand why people get so freaked about makeup. It's makeup, you can take it off. Doesn't matter if you make a mistake. I'm just saying this so no one will like hold me accountable at the end if my makeup is shit. I also have one wonky eye. Like this eye is a little bit more like, gross story if you would like to know. I'm gonna tell you. But like when I was like, I don't even know, maybe like 7, I was in my nan's house in the garden, and she had this gorgeous garden that had like all these amazing paving stones, and she had these massive like hexagonal wooden plant pots that had these huge like plants in, and I was sat out there one day, and I can't really remember what happened or anything but that happened before this happened in my life. Like I feel like I just lost so many memories from trauma of this happening, but basically I fell directly into one of the corners of the hexagonal plant pot and ripped my eye open, and I have this big scar. You can't really see it because I should have showed you this before. Like, well done V for planning ahead, and definitely not doing it off the cuff. But yeah, so I had this big scar, and so now I have like, this eye is a little bit more closed. Traumatic experiences that we like to pretend didn't happen. I wish it could be something cooler, like I don't know, like I was fighting a tiger or something, but no, I fell into a plant pot. So I'm just gonna take the same deep red that I just used, and I'm gonna add the tiniest bit of black, like this. So it's the tiniest bit, because black is really scary, and it will absolutely ruin your life if, don't take that out of context. It will absolutely ruin your life if you use too much of it. So I'm literally just going into the crease like the tiniest bit. Okay, so as you can see, I've just blended that right here. Doesn't have to be perfect because I'm gonna have eyeliner, so just so it has a little bit of darkness, and then I'm just gonna do that on the other eye. So I'm just taking the black over to just like halfway into the socket, just to about there. I don't want it to go all the way over. I want to keep this like this part here quite light, because over here is gonna be like very intense, very dark. So I wanna, I wanna have that difference there. So I try not to bring it too much over. If you do, it really doesn't matter. So don't freak. It's okay. I'm gonna take some pure black this time and just really deepen that corner. I'm just using like a tiny tapping motion. I don't want it to spread too much. If you are wondering, yes, this is an everyday look for me. I will go out looking like this all the time. I really don't care. I have no shame. I probably should, but I don't. So just right there. You don't have to blend it yet because you're going to need to clean the brush first. But just right into the corner. Pack as much as you can get. Right there. Okay, so I've done the black here. You can go as intense as you like. It really doesn't matter. I've cleaned my brush, although it doesn't look like it. I promise I have. And I'm just going to blend it out. Just really gently. I'm going to go across here because I just kind of prefer the pointed look because I feel like it looks better when I have my eyeliner on and everything. I just prefer more angled for my own face, but again, you do whatever you feel like. It really doesn't matter. I'm going to bring it slightly below the eye just so the blend at the bottom is better, but I'm going to wipe this off because I need to put my foundation on and stuff like that. So it's just kind of, you know, making it transition a little bit smoother. So just a tiny bit. I'm going to add some more of the red as well, so the line here isn't as harsh, because this is a really, really dark black. Don't do what I just did. Don't do what I just did. Don't do that. Don't stretch your face. I can't believe I just did that. I never usually do that. I promise. Please don't. Please don't come for me for stretching my eyes. Okay, so I'm going to add some more red. Okay, so I'm just going to take the same red that I used before and just go into the eyelid here. So just this. Done. Doesn't have to be perfect, like I say, it's going to be covered. It's just to stop the skin from showing through. So I'm just going to take some red pressed glitter and I'm going to pack it on until I get to the black. And I'm going to go just about as high as my socket, because when I look at you like this, I still want you to be able to see the glitter. So where you would usually do like a cut crease, I'm going to do that with glitter because it's better, in my opinion. So I'm only going to bring this to like the center of my eye and bring it from the top just down a tiny bit, because I want to have some maybe gold or some other colour, I'm not entirely sure yet, but just something different, just to brighten the eye up a little bit since there's so much darkness over here. So I'm just bringing it down about that far, just leaving this much free. Okay, so I'm just going to use the same brush. You could use whatever brush. If you want to use a smaller one so you're more careful, then go ahead and do that, but I don't care enough to change brushes. So I'm just going to take a gold this time and I'm going to carefully pack it there. So that gold wasn't as light as I wanted, so I'm just mixing a lighter gold pressed glitter in with it and just packing it on. And you know, if it goes into the red, that's fine because we're going to blend that later anyway, so that's kind of what we want. Okay, so now I've done that and the gradient's pretty good. I'm just going to take some more black from before and blend it into the glitter so it just becomes more of a gradient right at the edge. And then I'll obviously, you know, blend this back out again. But right now I'm just packing it on. I feel like I've said pack it on so many times. Both sides, just gentle right at the edge. So now I'm just blending the black again into whatever shape I feel like. It doesn't really matter. I feel like I say that a lot too. But I'm just blending that. Okay. I'm hoping you can kind of see. Okay, so just a general wing. I've kind of managed to position you in a way where you can see, I guess. But I'm sorry if the light keeps changing, by the way. It's just I don't know what's going on, but there we go. So just like a straight wing, and then I'm just gonna obviously join it up here. Okay, so I've just done my eyeliner. This eye messed up. This eye looks pretty good, which I'm surprised. This is usually my bad eye. I don't know what's going on today. But yeah, so I just did a really general cat eye, I guess. I'm not sure what else you would call it. So now I'm going to do my eyebrows. Okay, so I've just used some eyeliner to do this because I can't go and get darker products right now. So I've just used eyeliner. I'm just going to do this general straight shape. And then I'm going to fill the rest in with a small brush and some black eyeshadow. Blend it really lightly to the end. And I'm just going to take this really, really small brush, angled brush, and some black. And I'm just going to pat it on. Bring that over here and underneath. I have quite thick eyebrows, so I don't really do a lot. So that's pretty much it. And then under here we'll do some highlighter and stuff. Okay. So I've pretty much just done what I just said about. And I'm just gonna take this brush and hold it so it's, you can't even see that, so it's like upwards. And I'm just gonna flick. I quite like a thick bushy brow, so I'm just gonna like darken and make these hairs push up like that. Oh, not that much, just a little. Ooh. She said hello. Okay, the thing that I'm gonna do for the eyes is I'm gonna take this Revolution highlighter palette and this sort of pinky, maybe I should, I want to do gold because it matches the glitter. I'm just using the same brush that I used for the glitter that I cleaned. Don't come for me, I'm poor, I can't afford to use different brushes each time I use a new product. Like, redistribute your wealth, you know what I mean? Okay, so I'm just gonna right there. You lift your, get as close as you can underneath. Ooh. Cool. And then I'm just gonna use the same blending brush that I used before and blend this a little bit so it's not just like a straight line. Just like that. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the eyes, apart from mascara, which we're going to do later. So all I'm going to do now is I'm going to just take like a baby wipe and go underneath my eye and like here where you can see this glitter fall out, get all of that out, clean up this part here, because we're going to put a different colour underneath later, and also put some green on this that I've just noticed is there. Okay, so now that I've cleaned up under here as much as I can without smudging anything, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my foundation, which is the one I use, the NYX Born to Glow foundation in the shade Fair, because I am pale. I'm so pale. Why? And I'm just going to carve out my eyebrows using a small angle brush. So I only use the smallest amount of product just to carve them out because I don't really have a lot going on up here since I have a fringe, so I don't like to use a hell of a lot of foundation, because there's really no point. There's nothing to really cover, so I just use a really light layer going up to my forehead. Okay. So I'm just really gently blending this in using this disgusting, horrible, and damp, it needs to be damp, beauty blender. Just really gently try not to wrinkle your forehead like I just did, and then I'll add a little bit more just here, just to cover it. Okay, I also decided not to put any green on this because my fringe is gonna hide it anyway, so what's the point, you know? Okay, just gonna bring that down here. Okay, so I'm not gonna lie, I squeezed a little bit too hard when I was putting my foundation onto my hand, and a lot of it came out, and I don't want to waste it because I'm poor, so I used it all, and now I look like this. So I'm just gonna blend it. You can still see the green here. I'm gonna do what I can do to even this out. Okay, now that I'm looking as pale as all hell, I'm gonna start putting some colour back into my face. So I'm just gonna start with a tiny bit of light brown contour, and I'm gonna start on my nose and just really gently bring it down. Just enough to sort of like add the depth back in, since the foundation kind of washes me out. So just like that. Just really gentle. And bring it in a little bit at the bottom, not majorly. Because I don't really hate my nose, so I don't really want to change it too much. Okay. Now that that's done, I'm just going to blend the edges out a tiny little bit into my skin, just so it's not as harsh. And do that on both sides, and then in the middle, I'm just going to turn the brush sideways and do this. Just so both edges in the center aren't as sharp. And then I'm going to take a little bit more and just go over here like that. Just to round it out and make my nose look like a little bit pointier, because it is quite flat. Okay. There we go. Okay, so next I'm just going to take this flat brush. I know this isn't generally what is used for contouring, but it's just what I feel more comfortable with. And I'm just going to take the tiniest bit of brown and just gently work it into my cheek, like right here. So I pull down, and wherever it like naturally comes off of my face, and then blend upwards, just to bring everything up a little bit. Now I don't really use concealer because I'm already quite pale, so I tend to just go a little bit darker with contour just to get that depth from this like neutral colour. Instead of like highlighting it with a concealer, I just tend to go a little bit darker, just so I get the same snatched look without having to put more product. And once my cheek is done, I just start here. Again, I do quite a dark chin because I have obviously quite a round chin. So I bring it a little bit further up than where my jawline actually starts. And then just blend it in, just so it brings my jawline up. So you can kind of see already the difference. So I pack a lot of the product right here and then feather it out so it's not as dark here, just to give that shadow. But then here you don't want it too dark because it's going to look like you have a bird, and I don't want to bring out this shape here. I want to make it look more straight. See? And then after that's done, I just bring it all together, start here, blend out, bring back out, and then I bring the contour a little bit into my face, so just underneath my eye, just to bring all that forward. So you can sort of see here how it's like very bloated and just flat, whereas if you bring this up, it just makes that look a little bit thinner. Same again for up here. I just start right at the crest and then bring it down, and just in like little circular motions. Again, you don't want it too dark right here. At least I don't, because it's gonna make you just look like you have a really small forehead, which I don't really want for myself. I just kind of want the definition more than actually physically making it look smaller. And then I'm just repeating the same steps on the other side of my face. Okay, so the last thing that I'm going to do for the cheeks, since the majority of the blush is going to be on the centre of the nose and I don't want to look too red up here, I'm going to take the same peach tone that I used right at the beginning, the tiniest bit, like don't, you know, go packing it on, like literally the tiniest bit, and I'm just going to bring that up here, kind of like blending it with the contour, just to sort of warm it up as opposed to it just being a little bit brown, you know. I used to wear a lot of blush. It really doesn't matter. Like if you want to use a lot, you use a lot. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to get a general translucent setting powder. You can also use, one that has a little bit of a tinge. I'm just going to, I don't pack it on too heavily, just a little bit, because obviously, if my fringe is down, I don't want it to transfer onto my hair. And then the tiniest bit under my eyes. I don't really crease under here, so I don't use a lot, just because I'm not a big fan of adding extra texture to my face when I already have quite a bit. And then here and here, and then I'll just blend that into the contour as well. I'm going to take that peach tone again. I use this a lot. Like, if you look at this is my palette, and the one that I use is this one here. So I'm gonna have to, really scratch in there. But I really love this colour. And I'm just gonna like gently stipple it on my nose. I don't want to use like way too much movement because I already have trouble getting foundation to stay here, even with primer and powder underneath the foundation. I've tried everything. So I'm just gonna like really gently put it on because like I say, I don't want to move it. But yeah. So then I'm going to take the same shade again, and I'm going to put it over the sides of my nose and like get under here and do like a circling motion, and then bring that up further up along the nose as well. Apologies if you can't see this very well. And then here in the corner of the nose, like where the nostril is, dig in and then circle, and then bring underneath as well. You can't understand me. Bring underneath as well. I don't know why I spoke like that when I could have just spoken normally. But you just want to make yourself kind of look like you have a cold, basically. And then when you bring it up, feel free to bring it out as much as you want. I like to have quite a lot in the center of the face. I just prefer it that way. But you don't have to if you don't want to. You can just leave the nose out. It's all objective. And since, like we saw before, I have quite a lot of redness, I kind of like to just add false redness over it. So it kind of, if it comes through, which it usually does, it just kind of looks a little bit more like it's meant to be there if you already put the red over it. Now that I'm looking at this, I kind of wish that the middle of the nose was a little bit darker. So the base pink that I used here, you can't really see anymore, but it's just this gentle pink, and I'm putting the tiniest bit, right, the tiniest bit, because if you put too much, like, you're gonna have to wipe it off, and then you've just done all this stuff, and it's just not cute. And then I'm also just gonna take the peach and go under here. So just relax your face, like relax, like neutral, like, and then right under. And then a tiny bit here. Okay, so the last thing that we're going to do for the eyes is we're going to add the same pinky red underneath here, and just underneath the eyeliner, just to bring the look back together. And I'm just going to do that on the other eye. Then we're going to do my favourite part, which is I'm going to take the same gold highlighter that I put underneath my eyebrows, and I'm going to pack it into the corner. And then I'm going to get a little bit more right there. I really like a pop of highlighter in a corner. Poke yourself in the eye like I just did. Ooh, can you imagine if I just made my eye water like at the end of all of this? There you go. And then do the other eye. take the same gold that I used in the glitter on my eyelid, and again that really small angled brush. Like I said, you don't have to do this if you don't feel like safe doing it, but I just take it and go right underneath my eye, and then after that bring it down. Then I'm going to get the red and do the same on the other side and bring it down in the center. So again, you don't have to do this, but I just want to add a little bit of red on the same brush and just bring that down. Okay, so now we're going to take more of the gold highlighter. I'm just going to go over this because I just want it to be a little bit, you know, I blended it before, but now I'm like, I would like more. I do like iridescence. And then on the tip of the nose. And then I'm just going to, what's a good highlighter? Ooh! We see. Ooh, 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 ooh. I love my life. So I'm just gonna put some mascara on now, just to sort of tie the whole look together. What I do love about this sort of makeup look is if you are as terrible as applying mascara as I am, then if you get any specks on you, you can't see it because there's glitter everywhere. Like it's perfect. 10 out of 10, would recommend. You know, I said that was it for the eyes, but I lied. I've lost one of my eyeshadows. I'm actually gonna take a black eyeshadow and just go really close. Now I'm just gonna take some old lashes. Like, these are old. I don't even know where I got them from. And I'm just gonna put some glue on them. And a little bit of a tip that I like kind of accidentally learned is if you put your lash on a little bit skewer, if you wet your fingers with a baby wipe or something like that before you touch it, then the wetness of your fingers, like the glue, won't stick. So you won't accidentally rip your lash off like I've done many times in the past. Okay, so I've put the lashes on, and what I always do personally for me is I just turn the end of the lash up and stick it down a little bit, just on a little bit of a bend, just because I like the flourish. Now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to wait for this one to dry a little bit more before I start messing with it. I'm going to take my eyeliner again, and I'm just gonna fix the inner corner there. Just go over it if you feel like you need to, because I know the glitter definitely does fall sometimes, so if you want to go over the top of your lashes and just blend the lashes in, then that's fine. Okay, so one of the last things that we're going to do is, I have a lot of people ask how I do my fake freckles, and I know there's that product, I think it's called Freck, but it's like £25 for a tiny bottle of like freckle liquid or whatever they call it. So what I do is I just get one of these brushes, which is quite similar to the kind that Freck uses, and as you can see, I've already coated it in like brown eyeshadow or the same contour colour as you use or anything like that. So I dip it in a tiny bit of water, or you could use pretty much any other liquid. That sounded gross, don't use any liquid. And then I just get a little bit of the eyeshadow and then just dot it on. Obviously, you know, if you want it to be more natural, then like don't put them symmetrical. What you want to do is just kind of haphazardly do it. And if a couple of them don't look like perfect dots, that's fine, because there are some freckles that group together and, you know. And I definitely wouldn't keep them just here. I would go up here, I would go down here, I would go on your chin, because freckles, you know, a lot of people, they do the freckles that kind of just look like that, but that's not how freckles look. I know I used to do that, and now I'm like, why did I do that? So, you know, you want to keep some of them really, really light so you can like barely see them. And then you want to like press a little bit harder and get some darker, you know? Okay, so as you can see, I've just started to add some fake freckles. If I just bring you a little bit closer so you can see. So just like scatter them about. They don't have to be, you know, uniform. If some are darker than others, that's good because that's realistic. Another thing that I usually do, which I forgot to film because I'm silly, is I will mix an orange in with the brown, just so it becomes more of like a skin tone. You know, freckles are all different colours, so feel free to mix it up as much as you want. So the last thing that I'm going to do before I start my hair is I'm going to take this NYX Liquid Suede cream lipstick. And I really like this because it dries matte and it's really, really dark. I'm terrified because I always mess my lips up, so wish me luck. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to do, because I don't like the shape of my Cupid's bow, so I'm just going to take my finger and just run it down and then just refill it. So now that my makeup is done, I'm gonna take down this absolute mess of a head of hair and I'm gonna figure out something that I can do with it that won't look completely terrible. Okay, so I'll see you later. Okay, so I'm pretty much finished. I just shoved my hair up into two little buns and pinned the back pieces up and then just curled these little bits at the front. That's pretty much it. I hope that this was helpful, and if you have any more questions then feel free to direct message me or anything like that. I'm always down to help, so hopefully you enjoyed this and I'll see you in the next one.